Right, welcome to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Anything that you need to know about the channel specifics, you can find in the description box. You'll also find the magic word of the day. And the magic word of the day, all you need to do is write it in the description box and like and subscribe to the channel if you want to enter into winning a free psychic reading with me. Okay, all psychic readings are done live. And now I'm going to do a reading for Capricorn tonight. And know that energy is fluid, so roles could be reversed. Just flip it, switch it, twist it. Just interpret the message as it best resonates for you. Never force anything. Always take what you need and leave the rest. All right, always look at the spiritual energy first. Here at the Psychic Soul Reader, it's not reader, it's actually healer, but I always look at the karmic energies. It's not that it's not important to see what's going on in your situation. It always is. We always want to know that. What is that person going to do? Are we going to get that job? What's going to happen in our life? We always want to know that. But what's really important here is when we have spiritual blocks and we keep reliving karmic situations that make us feel limited, make us feel not good about ourselves, create experiences that are undesirable. They may start off with all this potential, but then somehow they unfold in a way that is karmic. And karmic we associate with bad, even though the karmic is not good or bad. It's a situation that we learn from, and we learn mainly from our actions, where we chose to put our energy. So karmic themes tend to continue to play out in our lives, throughout our lives, just a lot of times with different people or in different situations, but the theme is still the same. And a lot of times we don't learn that lesson the first time. So here at the Psychic Soul Healer channel, I like to look at those karmic themes because maybe next year you're not going to like this person that you're checking in here tonight about, or maybe your wants and desires will be something else, but you'll be still living that karmic theme if you don't learn. Because again, we grow out of people and situations. It's not uncommon when we don't learn from a karmic situation that the relationships that were involved in that situation, they don't stay in our lives. It's like karmic means learn. And a lot of times that we learn that we gave too much to a situation and that we didn't get enough. And really the theme was that we didn't honor ourselves enough. So there's spiritual lessons once you integrate the spiritual wound. It's all about expanding consciousness. And so if you're someone that has problems manifesting the life and the life experiences you want to have, or you keep reliving the same sort of karmic experiences, then you'd want to get a reading like this, because we know due to quantum physics there's many different realities that play out at one time, and due to what we choose to do is again depending on how that outcome is going to come out. So we know this. This is why there's things like quantum jumping. This is why there's things called shape shifting, so that we can actually create the life and the life experiences we want to have. But we have to first know what our spiritual blocks are. All right. I just always like to put that out there because, as I said, that's more important to me. So I always look at the energies first, the spiritual energies first. And then I look at what's happening. And then I'll go back to the spiritual energies. Why the spiritual energies, we'll talk about what the wounds are, the blocks are, what the theme is. And then the situation that plays out, and we'll be able to see why those blocks play out and what we could do to balance out the situation. Because every situation, depending on what you do, is depending on what your outcome is going to look like. So when you meet a soulmate, you can say, I really felt like they were my person. I loved them. I could feel, but it wound up not working out. Well, it didn't work out because it was a karmic mate, and karmic mates are soulmates. But you didn't learn. And because you didn't learn, you wound up getting hurt. All right. So the card that just flipped out was the Gift of Style. The Gift of Style says that you are co-creating right now with spirit. The Gift of Style is finding your unique style. It's so I'm feeling like right now where you are, Capricorn. And again, anyone that lands on this that resonates with it, but it was intended for Capricorn, is finding their process, right? Is stepping into is being led to their soul's purpose. And a lot of times we know what we're going to do or what we desire to do, but we don't know how, and the how is this Gift of Style. It's our uniqueness. It's our own unique process. That's why in the Bible it says no one can take what's yours, because you yourself has a unique style. Everyone has a unique style, but especially the person or the people that I am reading for, that again are, creating right now, and they're creating through their own unique gift of style. And so this is a real co-creation process. It's a healing process too, because a lot of times we hold blocks with perceptions of who we feel we are. And then when you're creating yourself, you're really finding who you are. So I'm feeling like you are in a healing process. This card just flew out, so I wanted to get it. Permissive. I feel like you're giving off like energy like you don't really care about anything except for what it is that you're trying to do for yourself. And this is triggering people because they're used to you being a giver. They're used to you being so, which is great, because right now what this is telling me is like the Gift of Style is your true unique individuality, where I think at one point you identified with being a giver, but then you never got enough in return. So you unconsciously did that to get the love that you needed. And a lot of times this is what we do. We don't realize it, that we grew up in an environment where we gave in order to get the love and the nurturing, and that because your parents just emotionally didn't give it. Sometimes, again, they're caught up in their own life and life experiences that they can't be as present to our needs. And that's kind of what I feel like, that you're learning to give to yourself, and in this you're becoming yourself. And again, it's bothering people, it's triggering people because they had a perception of who you are. And understand when you change when you change people's perception of who you are, it makes them look at themselves. And if they're not where they want to be and they're perceiving your life to be better, it's very triggering. So you may say, well, why does the universe do that? Right? Because again, we have to ask ourselves why. And the universe brings us everything that we need. So it's again not what we want, it's what we need to evolve, because we're holding it inside of us. And there's also an energy of being fearful of it a lot of times, and maybe we didn't learn how to deal with difficult people that had boundary issues. Maybe you had to develop your boundaries and also know your self-worth. And if you were always giving and people were never really giving you in return and you kept doing it, well, on some level, again, you believe that you needed to do that to get the love and the affection. You were doing it because not that you valued those people more than yourself, but understand from the universe's perspective that that's what it looked like. So that's what people perceived. And so people treat you the way that you treat yourself. And we unconsciously teach people the way we want to be treated through how we treat ourselves. So again, creating yourself and putting the energy here is really giving yourself self-love. So understand that's also raising your vibration. And it's raising your vibration because you're becoming the energy of love, which is that unconditional love. And that's the energy of God. That's the energy of the universe. Because all God is unconditional love, right? And if some people don't like the word God, then you can say the universe. Because again, the universe is, everything is made up of that sacred energy. Sacred geometry is the language of spirit. And so when we all have spirit inside of us, it's our connection to each other. When we have shadows, it means that we're detached from a part of ourselves, and it's because we're perceiving that part of ourselves to be defective, not good enough, not worthy. Now, for some of you, I also feel that you're creating yourself mainly because you were in a connection where a person acted like they didn't care as much, or you perceived that. Now, this card was flipped over and I'm being told to take it. Past life, and that's again a past life connection. However, that past life connection, it was all about clearing your family karma. And because again, past life relationship a lot of times doesn't mean that you're always supposed to be with that person, even though you'll feel the passion and the heat. Now, if this person heals, but again, I feel like the past life connection is really to help you clear the family karma. Why? Because I think that there are patterns that you see with this person, the connection, which is also why you put more energy into yourself, which is why it's triggering this person. But I also feel like you're triggering other people. I feel like you're triggering other people in your career. I feel like you're triggering people that you grew up with, maybe family members, because again, their perception. And really, that is very triggering, could be very triggering for you. And part of the trigger is to bring up the awareness of the wound, and really that's to clear your family karma. Awesome. Because we go through experiences, and those experiences continue to play out as almost like a karmic loop. The karmic loop is, it's like every 12 years, every 7 years, depending on how long, whatever the karmic contract was, that we continue to keep playing out the experience until we learn it. Like I said, and you're gonna learn it through getting this situation in different ways, but it's going to have the same theme. And that's what this is. That's why I said it's on every level. You're healing your family karma, because again, family karma, who we perceive we are, a lot of times comes from our family. And if you had family, Capricorn, that did suffered with any type of addiction, any type of relationship problems, any type of money problems, this is what we're talking about when we're clearing family karma. It's the ancestral karma. And what is that? It's their spiritual wounds due to their life experiences. And then we inherited those experiences. So a lot of times we wouldn't learn it unless we had a past life partner come into our lives. I want to choose one more from this deck. Again, the genius. And the genius part of self is, again, that God part of self and the higher self, and it's the creative genius. So again, this creative process of co-creating is really in the unfolding process of where you are. And that's allowing you to clear your family karma, because I think you're breaking, not just the family karma, but certain behaviorisms and habits, and the habit of always giving and never getting in return was huge here. So this is what's going on. So let's look and see where your person is, how they feel about you. Let's look at some hidden truths, and let's look at what happened and what they're going to do. I always like to do it like that. I know I should probably look the hidden truth after, but it's like I can't help it. It's like I wanted to, but where are they? Because right now I'm curious, if you walked away and you're creating yourself, and this is a past life connection, we know that it's irritating them. It's irritating them because it's karma. And, it means that they're eating the karma. They're learning, right? And they're learning due to what you did. So, which is bringing out a shadow aspect within inside them, right? Because when we're in a relationship with somebody that we feel unconditional love for, and it's a past life, there's a sense of not being able to control it, not being able to turn it on or off. Especially, we know this because, again, clearing family karma. So this person has as many spiritual issues that they need to overcome as well. So, and I'm feeling like they're not really as open to healing as you are, or maybe they're just not as spiritually aware. So let's check out the hidden truths, because like I said, I want to know. I wish I could share my good news with you. But for whatever reason, I'm feeling like the relationship was never a balanced relationship. This person came in, came out, came in, came out. They never gave you what you needed. So this is obvious because you're clearing that. And so there was a sense that they misjudged you and you are in separation, but I'm feeling like they are missing you a lot. Just being near you is intoxicating. I feel like you are up, like they recognize the difference between you and other people, because you're very positive. You don't, I feel like, again, you are creating yourself, which means a lot of time and energy and effort. And this person is watching you from afar. And they're also like kind of putting you up against other people, like, and judging you against other people is what I mean to see. And they see the difference. And so you inspire them. And that's why you're intoxicating. It's like, yes, there's deep attraction. There always is with a past life connection, especially one that you need to clear family karma. That's why they're coming in. But the passion is always there in a past life, right? Because we wouldn't stick around for these difficult lessons that trigger us. And right now, your person's being triggered because you kind of walked away due to their behavior of not really treating you, where they wanted you to give, and they weren't going to give anything else. And now they're observing you from afar. And like I said, you're different. You're a breath of fresh air. I feel like this person has lost faith in relationships, which is why they played a lot of games with you. But they always felt that connection. But I feel like it was always later. They thought, I will wait for a sign from you, but they're like hiding behind their, pride and their ego. There's a part of them that still feels the connection, but they don't trust themselves. So because they've had nothing but bad relationships, which is why they sat back and wanted you to do all the work. But I feel like that was triggering. See, sometimes past life karmic relationships, again, all the time they come into our lives for us to learn, but not all the time is the intention bad, especially when there's a wound is when you have a wound, you're looking at your situation as if you're looking at a situation through a distorted, like sunglasses or glasses, right? It's like almost looking at one of those mirrors at a fun house where you look in the mirror and your head is like 10 feet long and like you're all distorted. But that's what, when you look at your situation, and if you have a wound there, you're seeing it distorted. So, and that's everybody. So then when we say, well, what was the intention? Because if the cards were, well, the person was like, I never really cared about you. You were just a fling. If it was a negative card like that, then we would say, oh, this person's intention was that. But that's not really what we're seeing here. What we're seeing here, and yes, you get the same reaction, meaning you get the same response, whether a person has a wound or whether they're malicious, unfortunately, because that it's karmic and there's only two energies, love and fear. And so when a person has a wound and they're a past life relationship and there's all this passion, you better believe the reason why source brought that person into your life was to drag out those wounds. And here we see Capricorn, you never got enough emotion, you never got enough love, you never got enough. And in that, it's like this person comes into your life and does that, but then there's this sense of, I can feel you really love me and really care about me. But then you do all this negative stuff, or you act like you don't care, which just triggers me because you know that it hurts me. And so there is this, again, sense of, because I feel that this person doesn't know how to express their emotions and their feelings. And I felt like they were more concerned about protecting themselves due to the fact of all their bad relationships, which doesn't make it right, but it doesn't mean, it meant that they were trying to like control the relationship, control by how much they gave. And in relationships, it's not supposed to be all strategizing, coming from a mental business logic cold. There's supposed to be heart. And when there's heart, there's intuition. And when there's intuition, we're listening to our higher self. So your person doesn't come from that. They believe, they're afraid, they don't trust their feelings or emotions. So they, again, come from a very logical, linear place, which is why they were strategizing and why they were trying to control, but they were coming from a place of fear. And whenever we come from a place of fear, we don't get a good outcome. And this is what they've realized. And I'm feeling like they're regretting it, but they still have a big ego because, again, they didn't want to show emotion. So this is also like a trained thing where they don't feel comfortable being vulnerable, because when you show your emotions, you're being vulnerable. And so they would rather wait for a sign. But I feel like they're getting extremely nervous because they figured that you come back. I wish things could be different. And they could be. I feel like they could be. I feel as if they need healing. They need to learn that it's okay to be vulnerable. And that could be, again, their family karma where they never grew up feeling loved. Remember, like goes to like. You're going to get a person that it is like a magnet to you. And the magnet is, they have the same wounds. They may not have the same behaviorisms due to those wounds, but those wounds will trigger each other when we have someone that comes into our life and they can't express emotion and you never got emotion. Well, we could see why that would trigger. And again, you weren't wrong to walk away from this person. But when it's a soul relationship, you kind of feel like it is. And that's where the karmic test was. And that's why you passed that test, because and that's why they're eating it, because like I said, they're ruminating on it. It's like they're fighting themselves. It's like, I want it to be different. I want to talk to you. I'll wait for a sign from you. I don't really know what to do. It's again, that's that block, that's that trigger. But love always heals. Unconditional love always heals. And regardless of past life, karmic relationship, it means learn. Again, you can quantum jump and completely see what the situation was and why why it's playing out and what you need to do to get a different outcome. I want to tell you how I feel. So it's again, what they're learning obviously is I can't play it this way, because understand, this person knows that this relationship is a divine one. It's different. They don't really, I don't know whether they ever believed in soulmates, because again, they're very logical, very like that type of mind. And I feel like you guys are very different in the way that you approach life. Where you like, what, I don't see what the big deal is. I can have a conversation. I don't feel like this person opens up very well. And I think they realize if they want to be in your life, they have to approach things differently. So they're the more that they think about everything, the more that time goes by, they're not going to be able to hold that ego up. See, when it's unconditional love, it makes us surrender our ego. That's what it's, again, the ego is the subconscious mind as well as the conscious. It's the part of our conscious mind, but it's also could be part of our subconscious mind. The behaviorisms is what I'm talking about, where we try to control the relationship or situation in order to protect ourselves. But we don't realize, again, that we're focusing on fear. And that's how this person has been living, and they haven't been giving, and they didn't give anything to you. And so, like I said, they realize your worth because you walked away. They actually respect you because you didn't put up with it. They know why you did what you did, and they just didn't think that you were going to do that. Let me see. Okay, now let's see. Let's see where they are at. Let's see what they're going to do. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Because so right now we see like the hidden truths of like their plan. So we know, but what is going to happen? I should say, not even what are they going to do. What's going to happen like with this relationship when they come back? All right. Okay, 3 of Pentacles reversed. The Star reversed. The Sun. Now, I feel like your person is the one they come back to you. They were not in a good way at all. I feel like a lot of things that they thought would work out. I feel like when they walked away, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like, when you walked away, rather, that they, they weren't really affected by it. And then over time, they were affected by it. I think that they thought that they would be okay. I feel like there was other people in the picture, which is why they were in and out. And I feel like they were with someone, and it wasn't what they wanted. And so now there's a sense that they feel as if, there could be success with you. I feel like they're thinking about you a lot lately. They're thinking about what has happened. They're thinking about, but mainly due to the fact that they've made some bad choices. And the choice was to be with someone else. And so it backfired on them, is what I'm feeling. And I'm feeling because of that, there was like a domino effect of, just bad things in our life. When we make the wrong choice, it's not uncommon. And I feel as if your person didn't even, it was like their pride. It was almost as if they were like, nope, this is the way I'm going to play it. I'm not going to give anything. I'm not going to show any emotion. They deliberately did it. And they made you do what you did. Like you had to walk away. And at first they were like, it was, almost like a slap to their face. They didn't expect it. They didn't expect it because this is a past life connection. It's full of passion. It's full of, so again, they thought, well, they were a bit cocky and felt like, well, I can make it work out. And they realized that it didn't. But now they're seeing, well, we always had this connection. They see that they still have a connection. That's why they know that they have to come back to you. They know that they have to humble themselves, because that's what this energy is saying. It's like, I want to tell you how I feel. I'll wait for a sign from you. It's like, but they can't even do that. They don't even want to do that. They're not even, they're again ruminating on it. Like, I wish things could be different. I wish I could share my good news. I'll wait for you. I want to tell you how I feel. So again, we can see, why they think, they're like really thinking about it a lot, and they're saying, I feel like this is a soul connection. They can feel it the same way that you can feel it. And they're also feeling, because like they did that, yeah, there's a part of them that feels bad and doesn't know whether you'll take them back. But there's a part of them that actually feels that you will take them back because it can feel that connection. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Success. That's what they feel. I'm not like, whether it's true or not, like I know, like we could get mad too and say, like, how dare them be so cocky after being like that. But the truth of the matter is when it's unconditional love, we can't control it, even if we want to control it, right? Like you may be like, I don't want to love this person after the way that they treated me, but we can't control. And I feel like this person again learned their lesson. They're saying, I can't play it like this with you. Like I have to be real, because they weren't real. What they were doing was that they were trying to control everything. They wanted to almost have their cake and eat it too. Like they wanted you to do everything. They wanted you to give it, and they wanted to sit back, and you weren't having it, because you were like, I've lived this already before. I know what this looks like. I feel like it was a recurring karmic pattern in your life, whether or not it happened from childhood and your family, and then, a few relationships, a few friendships. You were like, that you're in a place where you're like, it's about me now. And people aren't liking it, because people don't like when you change their reality. And that's what you did when you put the energy into yourself on all accounts, with this person that you're connected to, with friends, with family, with other people. But you're healing, and healing doesn't feel good because it's scary and you don't know. And what's familiar sometimes is toxic, but it's familiar so we can try and make ourselves feel comfortable, even though that's not what we're called to do. We're not supposed to do that. So let's see, how do you feel? Losing you is the biggest regret I feel. Totally lost and alone. Now you deserve better than me. This is still them. And this is again where I said they're still full of regret. I wanted to know how you feel. My world is falling apart right now. It's still not. I feel like this is still them. So maybe you guys aren't feeling really anything. Let me ask with a different deck, because I don't really feel. Let me go back to the Weight and Rider deck, because that just doesn't seem right. And sometimes, but again, energy flows where it's supposed to go and what you're supposed to know. And maybe, again, for a lot of you, Capricorn, you were devastated when this person walked away, when they acted like they didn't care. And so what you're seeing is they're completely devastated, like they're not, that they can't handle it. So to be fair, we're going to put all the cards back in the Weight and Rider deck so that it's just a little bit more accurate in that, and so that the energy, again, I feel like it won't pull into the soulmate, but I really feel as if the reason why it's still going into your person is because you're supposed to see how regretful they are, even though they're not showing you anything. And I feel like there's a part of you that knows that they're regretful, that they feel horrible about what has happened, how they played it. And that's why they want to wait for a sign from you. They want you to reach out to them. But I don't feel like you guys are going to do it, to be honest with you. Okay, so we put all the cards back in. I know, how do you feel about them, Capricorn? And don't get me wrong, I feel like if it's a soulmate past life, there is a sense that you're sad. I just don't feel like the whole life is falling apart. 10 of Wands. Now, this is more accurate. It's like overload. It's like I feel like there's a sense of not trusting them, feeling like it would be a lot of work. And because they're emotionally not intelligent, they're wounded. There was a reason why they acted like that. And you're not wanting to do all that work. Really, the overload is a lot of times more psychological. Like, can this person even give? They were comfortable treating me in that way, so they're going to have to prove it. And there's a sense that you don't really feel like they're capable of feeling. Nine of Cups reverse. So it's again like that they'll want to do it, but they won't be, they're not capable of giving enough, is what you're feeling. You're feeling like they'll come into your life, but they're not used to really trying that hard or giving that much. Remember, they sat back, they wanted you to give, which means that they've had other people in their life come in and do for them and not really give anything. So they misjudged you. And the truth of the matter is that you feel like it would be too much work for them because they don't really know. So they would have to really prove to you, and you would need to give them direction of what it is, meaning you're going to need to not assume if this person comes back, because they have feelings and they have passion, but they don't know how to be in a relationship, it looks like, because they're not emotionally intelligent. And this is what you feel. Nine of Swords reversed, and where it's again, you are like, would be worried. Or maybe again, it was reversed, but it still feel like I'm still feeling more worried than not. They would have to prove it. So them coming back might give you a little inkling to be like, well, I see that they can, but how consistent? And I feel like that would be the worry. So let's see what is the advice on how to deal with it? Because this is a past life connection. So there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of feelings here. And remember, we can't control love. We might want to, but And the relationships are the ones that go on, they go off, they go on, they go off, because we love that person, but that person triggers us and they need a lot of healing. They're a past life relationship. They can come into our life to show us things that we need healing within ourselves. I feel like you've healed that because you put the energy into yourself when this person didn't give anything. They just expected you to chase them and you didn't do that. And they acted permissive for way too long. Like, I could take it or leave it. And I feel like now you're acting permissive and they're not happy about it, because again, it's triggering them, triggering their abandonment issues. And they know that they did it themselves, because they're seeing, again, what a good cat you are. They misjudged you. So how should we heal? So how should we deal with this situation? How should we heal from this situation? What should we do? Okay, present moment, be in the moment. Don't, again, because it's a soulmate, past life connection, there's a big ESP, connection, and that's through the heart and mind. So we can feel when that person is near us. We can feel when their emotions are off. We can feel when that person is angry. And like I said, your person has a lot of different emotions. They feel bad. They are not in the present moment. They are thinking a lot about you. And I feel like because it's bringing up their healing, it's triggering them. So you may feel angry sometimes. You may feel it, like all these different emotions, and it's theirs. And you all also getting triggered because of the way that they treated you. Like, you're mad at me, you're feeling them mad, and then you get mad because you're like, you're mad at me. And it's like, you did all this, you didn't come in correct, you didn't fix it. And so just be in the present moment, be in the now, be in the moment, because otherwise you'll be up in your mind thinking about it, and you're going to have a different mood every second, and that's going to not be good for you. So you don't know. And balance, like asking us to find balance, and we can be balanced through creating a balanced life. Again, not thinking about what this person did, why they did it, again, because a lot of it would trigger you to make you feel like they did it because, they didn't respect me and all what it looked like. But the truth of the matter is, it was all their wounds, number one. And number two, it's when you have a soulmate and it's someone that you really love, a lot of times they're not going to act the way that you want them to act. And so it's to look at the bottom line. A lot of times we can look at the bottom line if we love that person and say, I love that person, even though I may not trust them as much, but if they come into my life and they promise to be different and they show me to be different, which means that you have to be balanced, which means giving that person not everything when they come back into your life. It means having your friends, keeping your friends, keeping your life, being interactive in your life, so that this person gets just like, if you're a pizza pie and you have 8 slices, they're getting a slice. You're not getting the entire pie or 5 pieces. That you're balanced. So when you're balanced, you get to see how a person is treating you, because you're not so close up to the picture, right? And your intuition works much, much sharper when you're not. So you can see how much effort they're putting in. You can actually see if their behaviorisms change. You can see, and if you go slow. So it's, again, being in the present moment and not reflecting on what they did, how they did it, because then the relationship's not going to work at all. Also, if you want this relationship to work. And for some of you that don't want it to work, it's still to be in the present moment and not ruminate on what happened, because then you become the vibration and the energy of that, and you will just attract that. And you don't want to do that. And there's also a sense of well, I still have feelings after they did all that, which makes me be triggered, which makes it hard to be present. But if you're balanced, that means you're hanging out with friends, you're doing things that you're passionate about, and you're then not in that same energy vibration. So either way, I just feel for a lot of you guys, when it's a soulmate past life connection, there's no denying there's passion. And both you guys know that it's a divine connection. It's very hard to control it. So one of the spiritual lessons, the karmic lessons for both of you would be learning balance, not being codependent. This person never had to give, which means that they had everybody else give, but they were giving something also in return. And that might have been finances. It's again, a lot of different things. They might have come in and like kept house, and did, took care of everything, but were fine without getting emotional connection because maybe they were getting taken care of financially through taking care of the house. They were getting something. So it's again, what they're realizing is they have to change. And they will, but that's going to be also uncomfortable for them because it's going to trigger them because there's fear. They have to go through the fear, and they would have to be present, and they would have to be balanced also, because remember, you're a mirror for what comes into your life. So your past life connection, even though it's karmic, just means learn. You learned, they're learning. And but because there's a lot of fear due to how they treated you in the past, you're gonna have to be present. You're gonna have to not like reflect on the past, and you're definitely gonna have to stay balanced if you want this relationship to work out. And if you don't, and you still have emotions, again, you're going to have to still be present again and not ruminate on what they did, why they did, and all that, and be involved in your life so that your mind, can be busy, because your mind can't be in two places at one time. And you want to always change the way that you view yourself after a person doesn't treat you very well, because the more times that you go through that, the more times that you become complacent to it, and or worse, believe that that's all you can get. And either way, that's the same energy. It only brings fear. So you can actually raise your vibration, and you raise your vibration by stepping into your true self. And that's the only way to really break this generational karma. And that the generational karma is not being in a codependent relationship. Codependent where one person financially takes care of something, where the other person is emotionally getting it. That you can love makes people change. And what I see is that this is a divine connection in spite of how they acted, because again, it could have turned out where it was horrible, but due to the way that you handled it by walking away, made this person look at themselves. So they wound up eating the karma, but now, it wasn't devastating to their life. They're applying it to their life. They become a better person and step into a higher vibration because they do so. And that's what divine relationships are all about. I'm going to leave that there. Now, if you resonated with this video, give me a like, subscribe to the channel. It really helps my channel grow. I really appreciate that. And, if you want to win a free psychic reading with me, all you got to do is write the word in your comment bar. I don't remember whether I pulled the word or not, so I'm going to pull it. Okay, it's empathy. You're going to write the word empathy in your description box. So if you want to win a free psychic reading with me, that's all you have to do is like the comment, subscribe to the channel, and write the word empathy or whatever the word was that I said in the beginning of the video, and I will honor it. You'll know that I chose you if I wrote the word winner underneath. And if I did, we'll just correspond back and forth on YouTube and underneath, the comments, and we'll figure out the best date and time that works best for the both of us. All readings that are one or done live stream. Thanks again for sharing your energy with me, and I'll talk to you soon. By the way, if you guys are looking for coaching, definitely check out my subscription box. There I have monthly subscriptions, daily coaching for $9.99 and 3 times a week coaching for $7.99. And I have giveaways and specials and all that good stuff. So again, check it out. Check out my Patreon, and I will talk to you guys all soon. Bye.